Alrighty, so we are in the last half of section 4-7, the radical inequalities. So last time we talked about equations, now it's inequalities. And I believe this will finish up our chapter 4 journey. And so when we're talking about radical inequalities, it's going to follow a similar process that we did with the radical equations. But now we have to consider domain. So kind of like how we were checking our answers for extraneous solutions in the previous section, this time we got to look at domain considering those inequalities. So remember we said there's two things at this point that can cause a break in the domain, because the third one is logs that we'll talk about later. So one is a denominator of 0, and then the second is an even root of a negative number. So it could be a square root, it could be a fourth root, it could be anything like that. So for example, the square root of -1, that's an imaginary number, so there is no real solution if that is the solution. So what that means is when we're solving a radical inequality that has an even index or an even root, you must make sure that that radicand, the number inside of the radical, is not negative. So there's a second part to those questions. If you're solving a radical inequality that has an odd index or an odd root, then we don't have any domain restrictions. And once we've solved for the variable, then that's all we have to do. All right, so if we take a look at this problem, what I want you to notice is there's a little invisible 2 right there. So when we say square root, remember that it's the inverse of a square, and so that's where that invisible 2 comes from. So the first part of your question said state whether the index is odd or even. So an index is that little number in that corner. So in this case, my index is equal to 2, which makes it even. And what that means is we're going to have a second part to this problem because I need to make sure that I don't take the even root of a negative number. So just like we did with equations, we're going to square both sides. So that's going to give me 3r plus 5 is greater than, and 1 times 1 is still 1. And then we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. And so we're going to say 3r is greater than -4. And so subtracting doesn't change the inequality. And then dividing by a positive also does not change the inequality. So we're saying the r values are greater than -4/3. So the good news is I don't have to check for extraneous solutions. I just say that all my r values have to be greater than -4/3. Okay? Well, then the second part of the problem is dealing with the fact that I have an even index. And an even index or an even root means I have to make sure that what's inside of the radical is greater than or equal to 0. So not negative means it can be 0 and it can be positive. Now, here's an interesting thing that happens. I already said 3r plus 5 has to be greater than 1, and 1 is already greater than or equal to 0. So I can stop right there and say, as long as it's greater than -4/3, it's also going to be greater than 0. So again, because this says that the radicand has to be greater than 1, it's already greater than or equal to 0 with this solution. So I can say the set of all r values such that r is less than -4/3. All right, so if we go on to the next one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to square both sides. And so we end up with 2t minus 3, because the square root and the square cancel, is less than, and 5 times 5 is 25. And so we're going to add 3 to both sides. And we get 2t is less than 28. And then dividing both sides by 2 does not change my inequality because that's positive. And we get t is less than 14. Then I notice I've got this invisible 2 here, which is why the square can cancel it out. So that means that my index is even. And that means that I have a second part to my problem, which is making sure that that radicand 2t minus 3 has to be greater than or equal to 0, meaning not negative. Now notice when I look at this, less than 25 doesn't protect me from being greater than 0. I can have a negative number that's less than 25. Okay, So that means I do have to solve this and combine these together. So if I add 3 to both sides, we get 2t is greater than or equal to 3. And then if I divide both sides by 2, we have t is greater than or equal to 3/2, or you could call it 1.5. That's totally up to you. So now we need to do our squishing. So the rules for squishing said take the smaller of the two numbers. So the smaller number is this one, and put it on the left. So I'm going to take the entire inequality and flip the whole thing around. So that means that 3/2 is less than or equal to t. So just taking this, so instead of t being the greater, 3/2 is the lesser. And now that I have less than for both, we're going to squish these together. So I don't call it adding because we're not adding both sides. We're literally squishing the two together and saying I have t such that 3/2 is less than or equal to t is less than 14. All right. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to give this one a try and see if you can find the solution. So the first step is going to be to square both sides. So when I do that, I get 2m plus 3 is greater than, and then 5 times 5 is 25. So when I solve that, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, and I get 2m is greater than 22. And then dividing both sides by a positive, I'm going to get m is greater than 11. And then I've got to double check. So I have this invisible 2 here. That's why the square cancels it out. So that means that I have an even index. And I have to do that second part of the work, which is making sure that what's inside the radical is greater than or equal to 0. But again, over here, we said that it had to be greater than 25. So if it's greater than 25, I'm already guaranteed that it's greater than or equal to 0 because a negative number can't be greater than 25. So that means that I'm done, and I can just say the set of all m values such that m is greater than 11. All right, so let's try one more. Take a look at this one, pause it, and see if you can answer this question on your own. So this time I have a 3 in my index. So that means that my index is odd. And what we love about an odd index is there's no domain issues. So I only have to solve and that's it. I don't have to worry about what's inside. I can have negatives inside, I can have positives inside, I can have 0 inside, it doesn't matter. So we're going to go ahead and cube both sides because that's the inverse of a cube root. And when I do that, I get 2t plus 8 is now less than 64. And then if I subtract 8 from both sides, we get 2t is less than 56, which makes, if I divide by 2, it's okay to divide by a positive. I don't have to change my inequality. And that makes t less than, and I believe that's 28. Okay, so again, odd index, no domain issues, and so I can say t such that t is less than 28. All right, and so that is it for this lesson.